My videos are coming from life experience. The way I speak comes from life experience, and I try to make it as common sense as possible from what is happening at all levels of government to what ends up on this park bench. That's what I try to convey. And in doing so, I am certainly going to trigger a lot of snowflake liberals. We can't have mentally challenged men with sexual deviancy going into girls' washrooms and staring at little girls. We can't have that happening. And that's going to... I don't know if you can hear in the background over there, probably not. I got my external mic on today, but down in a wooded area that I've been to many times before, but I got a crazy Karen over here walking her dog, and she's yelling at some guy in a car about them cutting down some trees here. There's a big project going on to the east of me, and a lot of standard poodles in the park today. It's my third standard poodle I've seen over there. And usually with the standard poodles, a Karen is attached to that standard poodle, and it sounds like she might have a hearing impediment because the way she is talking. Vile people, vile people. Anyhow, which leads me into my video today, which is surrounding the terminology of Maple MAGA. Now, obviously, I've touched on it in many videos, and Maple MAGA is in reference to the Canadian version of MAGA, Make America Great Again, which wasn't coined by Donald Trump, but it was definitely associated to Donald Trump. And basically what Maple MAGA is, it's a construct of liberalism. It's a construct to discredit, to debunk, to slander any sort of conservatism, and you know, they group it into that one phrase of Maple MAGA, which is essentially Trump derangement syndrome. It's an expression of Trump derangement syndrome. So Mark Carney just did a recent interview, or not so much an interview. He was reading from a teleprompter, I should say. It wasn't an interview. It was a scripted teleprompter speech, where he is once again reinforcing his stance that the Americans, the Donald Trump Americans, are no longer Canadians' best in Canadians' best interest to do business with. Now, I said in my video yesterday that 75 to 80% of our trade is through our southern border with the United States. They are instrumental in our economy, and it's becoming blatantly aware to many people in the workforce in Canada that we are essentially tied at the hip with the United States. Mark Carney can get in front of the cameras, he can get in front of the press, and he can say whatever he wants about how, you know, the United States or Canada isn't relying on the United States or shouldn't be anymore. But it's just not true. He is blatantly lying. It doesn't make any sense. Now we know that Mark Carney has been installed to to make it look like he's taken down Donald Trump. Now, people that follow this quite closely will say Mark Carney is an agent of the British monarchy. He is working on the behalf of the British monarch to keep the British monarchy system going strong within the Commonwealth countries. There are people that are in the belief that he's an agent for the World Economic Forum. I'm in that belief. There are people in the world that are convinced that he is ushering in communism. I'm also in that mind frame. So the ever-increasing onslaught of liberalism and Mark Carney propaganda to distance ourselves from the United States is becoming increasingly more dangerous. Now, there are talk show or podcast people down in the States, namely Crowder, Steven Crowder. He's got a very popular podcast in the United States, and he is quite regularly saying now that Canada should be deemed a security threat to the United States based on our interaction and our alliances with China, based on our unvetted, lax immigration system, our weak court systems, our inability to use our judicial system to punish criminals that are committing harsh crimes, sexual crimes, our openness to perform gender transformation surgeries, or gender reassignment surgeries, I should say, for young adults and young children and teenagers. This is all compiling down in the United States, and they're hearing down in the United States, they're hearing on a lot of liberal leaning talk shows and all the liberal bought and paid for mainstream media. They're hearing the United States bad rhetoric, and people are buying into that. They are buying into that in the United States, and there is a movement in the United States that really does want to come up here and sort some problems out in Canada. Now, whether that's going to go back to the 51st state talk, I don't know. But there are people down there that are getting increasingly more upset with the way we are behaving up here. Now, I know I got a lot of people, I have a lot of conservative people that watch my channels, that are capable of defending themselves and possibly defending their country. I get liberal people on my my YouTube channel that would like to believe that they can do the same. They can defend themselves and defend the country against the United States, not against communism, not against China. They want to defend the country. They want to take up arms and defend the country against the United States. And in doing so, they want to take up arms and nullify people like me, if you can believe that. Sounds crazy, right? I'm gonna read a comment that I got from my my video yesterday. Now, the video yesterday, I put up on the thumbnail a picture of Pierre Poilievre dressed in a dictator, communist military uniform with the caption, Chairman Poilievre. Now, I got a lot of immediate feedback based on the thumbnail alone. Now, one person said it was clickbait. I didn't put it up as clickbait. I put it up because a Liberal MP, based on the whole video, a Liberal MP was accusing Poilievre of being a dictator. So a lot of conservatives didn't even watch the video. They seen the thumbnail and they immediately tried to attack me and slander me. And I even, until I got, well, actually, let me back this up. I responded back to these people and said, did you actually watch the video? Then, of course, they didn't watch the video, because obviously it wasn't a pro-liberal video. It was showing the blatant lies from that Liberal MP, pointing out that Poilievre was indeed a dictator. So people got right away, they were giving me feedback saying I should change the thumbnail because it's going to send out the wrong message. Listen, when I put something up on my channel, it's generally well thought out, number one. Number two, I'm not going to, I will take the advice respectfully, but I'm not going to change it because I didn't see a need to change it. Obviously, what it did, it put into the algorithm, it put in my video that it would appear to be liberal friendly. So right away, I got a bunch of liberals, they're thinking, oh, good, let's click on this. This guy's with us because I think Poilievre is a dictator too. He's a mini Trump. So they clicked on it. Then they were rudely awoken to the fact that I guess I sabotaged their day. It was some sabotagery, and they proceeded to get a little upset with me, which was kind of amusing to a very high degree. And I'll put that thumbnail back up on this video so you can see it. But so in the video yesterday, there were a lot of comments that were slanderous, but there was this one comment that I opened up this morning before I left the house, and I'm going to read that comment. Now, bear in mind, a lot of when I respond to liberals' comments, I guess they are expecting me not to respond to their comments, and when I do, they kind of get up in arms right away. So, like I said in a lot of my videos, I respond to my comments to a very, very high degree, and liberal or conservative, it doesn't matter. I try to get back to you all. Some comments are incoherent, some comments are very hostile, some comments are completely nonsensical. But to a high degree, like I said, the people that watch my channel are intelligent people and very respectful. And I try to be respectful too. But having said that, I do purposely put triggers in my videos because I am trying to convey my message at the street level and as honestly and as authentic as I can. It's me. you know, my videos don't generate a lot of money because of the way I speak and the content. I'm not saying I'm purposely trying to be inflammatory or incendiary. My videos are coming from life experience. The way I speak comes from life experience, and I try to make it as common sense as possible from what is happening at all levels of government to what ends up on this park bench. That's what I try to convey, and in doing so, I am certainly going to trigger a lot of snowflake liberals, and I'm going to start put trigger warnings where I'm going to, in the video, I'll put a trigger warning where I know it's going to trigger a liberal. Like, I won't do it as I'm speaking because I'm not exactly sure what triggers a liberal, but when I go to edit the video, I will figure out then, once I sit down, and I hopefully will come up with some trigger warnings for you people. And so anyhow, I want to read this comment from a staunch liberal viewer that is afflicted with high levels of liberalism. Liberalism, let's find a cure. So I'll put up on the screen the name of this person's channel, and so this is in response to my video yesterday. Pierre Poilievre is a dictator. Okay, this person, I don't know if it's male or female. I don't give a shit. There's only two genders. So if you're a girl or a boy, I don't know. Okay, so this person went on to say, "I would rather see Canada fall than Mr. Mini Trump," and she put in quotation or in parentheses, Pierre, come to power. If that has to happen, so be it, because the alternative is still better than a conservative government. So she's saying that she'd rather see the country fall than have Pierre Poilievre as prime minister. "I won't live in a country that is racist, sexist, transphobic. I won't live in our country where we lose all our freedoms. I won't live in a country that will collapse in 25 years from climate change because we did not take it seriously enough." It goes on to say, "Maple MAGA net zero needs to happen faster, and Carney is the man for the job. I blame Maple MAGA voters for not giving Carney the Liberals' majority. This is the real problem. You Maple MAGA cultists hate Canada." Okay, so obviously this person here has extensive mental health concerns. Now, but there are millions and millions of people in this country that have been indoctrinated to think like this. They think Pierre Poilievre becoming prime minister, that Pierre Poilievre is going to stop men dressed in dresses with lipstick on and a full beard going in and urinating beside a 4-year-old girl in a washroom. They think Pierre Poilievre is going to stop that. No. It won't be stopped right away, but it is coming, because we can't have mentally challenged men with sexual deviancy going into girls' washrooms and staring at little girls. We can't have that happening, and that's going to fucking stop. I'll guarantee you that. So that is going to happen. She thinks that Pierre Poilievre is going to get people like me to go round them up and put them in the gulags. That isn't going to happen. There will be no rights, sane rights or freedoms taken away from you. This insanity that liberalism has caused for the last 11 years for sure, but liberalism globally has put the world in a very, very confused, violent state. Okay, if conservatism ever sees the light of day in Canada again, yes, there is going to be some changes for the better. First, we have to get the out of control liberal spending under control. We have to foster or realign ourselves with the United States to get our relationship strengthened with them again. China is not going to help us. They are an export economy. They are not an import economy. They're going to take very little from us, other than our fresh water, our natural resources, our uranium, our diamonds, our gold. They're going to take all that, and as much oil as we can give them. They're going to take that without a doubt, because they need all that. Anything else, like our cars, maybe, I don't know, do the Chinese need lumber? I don't know. It seems like maybe they have a lot of lumber there themselves. I'm not sure on the lumber. I'm not exactly sure what China would be interested in taking from Canada, other than our natural resources that will fuel their military machine. Whatever Carney is painting, or whatever Carney is projecting that he is going to do to fix Canada is at the very least, is going to fall short. But more realistically, he's purposely doing it to collapse the country. His interests are for his handlers and his financial holdings. His financial holdings are 91% based in the United States. 91%. I don't even know where the other 9% are. I would imagine maybe 2% in Canada. Maybe he's got 8% or 7% in China. Mark Carney doesn't have a degree, from my understanding, from a Canadian university. And my understanding is he's the only prime minister in history that has never held a Canadian university degree. I don't know if that's right. I will fact check that, but we will see about that. That's what I've heard, and I believe it. I don't know how many kids he has. Apparently, they all live in the United States. One of them has mental health concerns, serious mental health concerns. I don't know what that person's doing, but none of his kids have to worry about money because he's a very wealthy man, and he's gotten very wealthy off people like me sitting on park benches. That's how he's got wealthy. Okay, so that comment from that person, you know, I read that and my response was more or less, you know, hopefully you get help for your mental health issues. And I went on to say also that when the country does collapse, because it is going to collapse, and it's not going to collapse because of Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre's probably never going to become prime minister. Okay, he's probably never going to become prime minister because the system's rigged against him. And whoever they put in charge of, well, let me back that up. If Dougie Ford or Marilyn Gladue become prime minister, it's because the liberals, communists, globalists, Chinese have installed them. If Doug Ford or Marilyn Gladue become prime minister, it's because they will work on behalf of the Liberal Party. Obviously, they are corrupted. So Pierre Poilievre becoming prime minister is it's a long shot, and people aren't going to like when I say that, but that's my feelings. So I like Pierre. Is Pierre doing the best job for Canadians? I would say not all the time. I would like to see him be a little more aggressive, but you know, he's smarter than I am, and he's been in the game a long time. So, you know, you know, I don't have all the answers with regards to what Pierre should be doing and what Pierre shouldn't be doing. So, would I do things differently? Well, you know, I would do things differently. I would do things a lot differently. But I'm not political material. I'm not no, I shouldn't say political material. I'm not politician material. You know, that's I don't have. I don't know what to say there. But I lack. You know, certain skills needed to be a politician, and being political or being a bootlicker or an ass kisser, I don't hold those attributes. So that's what I don't know. I'm trying to say something along those lines. But this person in the that said the comment, they are going to realize a collapsed Canada, and the only consolation that this person will have is they won't suffer long, because they will be taken out very quickly after complete societal collapse. Those type of people, like this liberal Karen over here, still yelling and screaming at every car that goes by. Those type of people won't live long. This type of person here, she looks to be. I'm going to try to get her on camera. You see her through the woods over there. She's a very masculine woman. Very, very masculine. She's a very masculine woman, and those type of people, they will come out of their house after a societal breakdown, and she'll make it down to this road. Oh, she's got a giant Great Dane, an old Great Dane. And she'll walk 10 feet before something very bad happens to her. And these are the type of people that get on the comment section and are telling me that I don't know how to take care of myself. It's like I got a fake tough guy routine. And no, it's not a fake tough guy routine. What I am is a genuine person that grew up in Toronto, that grew up poor, that grew up around people that were very streetwise, very tough people, and I grew up in that environment. So I'm going to naturally inherit some of those traits. Now, if it comes across to the man bun, septum, nose ring wearing dandy boys out there that I'm trying to intimidate people, or I'm trying to project this fake persona like I'm some sort of wrestling character, like I'm trying to be something that I'm not. Like I said in my video yesterday, I know my limitations because I've done it. I've been in jam-ups. I've been in very violent situations. I don't say everything on my YouTube channel because I can't. It would be incriminating. And I'm getting people, okay, like I'll be the first to tell you, no, I'm 56 years old. I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but I'm not trying to project. If anything, I downtone. I downplay the real jam-ups and the real violent situations I've been in. Honestly, I can't go on my channel and I could sit here on this park bench all day and tell you all the violence I've been a part of in my life, all day, and the next day, and the day after that. So that doesn't make for good video. It doesn't translate well. That's what I'm trying to say. So the odd time when you see me sitting in a park environment, the odd time when you see me down in the downtown core or wherever in this city, and I have a little interaction with someone that you do see on camera or you don't see on camera, I'm keeping my situational awareness heightened because I know what happens on these streets and in these parks. Okay, I'm not living behind some computer screen. I'm not researching things constantly with statistics, with crime statistics. I'm living it. I'm not saying that I'm personally being assaulted. I'm not saying people are pulling these on me, people are pulling edge weapons on me. I've had all that in my life. I've had these pulled on me. I've had edge weapons pulled on me. I haven't been this, or I haven't been poked. I've come close many times. That's all I'm saying. So I'm speaking from experience. In my video yesterday, when I mentioned the 6'2" slender black person, someone called me a racist. And I understand a liberal getting triggered because like I said in my video yesterday, it lured liberals in to a false sense of security. So they had to chomp back on something. But the person that walked by me yesterday, I recognized him from the neighborhood. If that person recognized me or maybe didn't recognize me, I'm well known in my neighborhood. My name is well known. Okay, I'm older now, I'm out of that scene, so to speak, but if you come down to my neighborhood and you start asking for Dewey, it'd be interesting if someone did do that and put the comments up on the video and see the outcome of that. So when someone walks by me, I'm the type of person that's going to confront them. Now, it could be a nice confrontation, like yesterday I said, hey, what's up, brother? Right away, I start dialogues with people to see their mindset. I want to keep them at the 20-step rule. You don't want someone coming in 20 steps to you because they can close that distance in lethal time. Okay, it sounds like, oh, what is this guy? Some sort of security specialist, martial arts expert? No, none of that. I'm self-trained. Anyhow. You'll notice in a lot of my videos, you can't base my demeanor and the way I carry myself off one video. If you string my videos together, you'll see that I'm pretty much consistent in the way I try to interact with people. It's not because I want to have dialogue with everyone. It's because I want to see what they're about. And like I said, I have things that are on me and my bike that other people would like. And times are becoming increasingly more hostile and desperate. When people see something that they could take from someone and turn it into something that benefits them, whether it be money, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, whether it be food, pretty much that, they will tend to try to take that from you. Okay, I'm not being paranoid. I'm just trying to impress upon you that I talk the talk and walk the walk. So I don't want to become a victim. I should know better than becoming a victim, obviously. If someone comes up to me and, okay, for example, I'm sitting here in a park. There is literally no one around. That masculine Karen with her giant Great Dane finally shut up and walked down there. She's going to go down there and see probably a cop car parked down there hiding, and she's going to go tune the cop up, and the cop's going to have to leave because this lady is insane. And there's already a conservation truck that drove by. I seen that. She's going to go down there and corner this guy, make his day a living hell because this person is insane. This is all this person does, is get up in the morning, walk her 10-year-old Great Dane, and try to confront people that she thinks are doing her wrong, okay? And that's what the society is. So, if someone comes through here and sees my bike, my setup on my bike today, the way I got it set up, is around $5,000, thereabouts. With everything I got on my bike today, maybe $4,000. Okay, so that's a $4,000 bill. On the black market, you're not going to get near that. The setup, with the way I got everything set up, this person, to the right fence, to the right person, is going to give that person between $1,000 and $1,500 for my camera equipment, my bike, and what I got on my bike. Maybe at the very least, they'll walk away with $1,000, right? A fraction of what it is to replace it. So, you don't think that someone that is desperate, high on drugs, or they have a weapon on them, whether it be an edge weapon or one of these, they aren't going to try to take my stuff off me, okay? So now, if they have one of these on them, it's going to be relatively easy to take my stuff. Now, I'm a little proficient with these in knowing what these are. So if I can determine that it is an airsoft gun, a pellet gun, anything like that, they will have a very hard time getting that bike and whatever on that bike off me. But if it's a real one, which a lot of them do carry real ones, hey, take my bike, take it. What am I going to do there? What am I going to do? Get shot? No, take it. If they have an edge weapon, well, that might be a different story. That might be a different story. I can get away from the person. Basically, if you get on my bike right now, you just can't get on it and ride away. You have to know how to figure it out. So they're not going to be able to get on it and ride it away. There are lots of big sticks around here. 4-foot sticks. I can go get a stick over there on the ground, and I'm not going to let my bike get away because you have a knife in your hand. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. If I get poked, if I get slashed, well, that's a chance I'm going to take. A gun? No. You know, I'm not going to risk it. Take it. So, my point being, and if you don't have any weapon, you want to try to strong arm it out of me with fists? No, you're gonna have a very bad you're gonna have a very bad day at the very least, and it's gonna be a life-altering event for you. That's something. I will say this. That's something I used to say to people when I was younger, and I was in that life. I would give people. Some people that I kind of knew, I'd give a warning to. If they wanted to escalate a verbal confrontation to a physical altercation, I would give this speech, and the speech would be, "I'm going to give you one chance to think about what you're going to do, because once we cross over that line, you are going to experience a life-altering situation, one way or another. Your life will be changed forever." And I'm saying this to grown men. And I've had grown men look at me, and I'm not lying when I say this. I've had grown men look at me and reconsider what I just told them, and they walked away. And that's it. That's it. And then I've seen these people. I've seen these people months, years later. I'll buy them a beer. They'll buy me a beer. Not that I don't drink no more. But you know what I mean? We're cool. I've had violent physical altercations with people in my neighborhood, very violent, and I can't get into specifics because they're very violent. And you know, I hadn't seen this person for this one person. This person was 6'2", about 330 pounds, and you know, I'm not going to get in. We got into a physical fight, and I won the fight. We'll put it that way. And I didn't see this person for about a year. And I caused serious damage to him. And I didn't know the damage I caused to him until I talked to his girlfriend years later actually, and he's since passed away, this person. But his girlfriend told me what had happened to him after our physical altercation, and it was bad, and it was, anyhow. But anyhow, I seen this person at a baseball tournament about a year after our physical altercation, and we were cool. We shook hands, you know, and, you know, I didn't apologize, and he didn't apologize, but we didn't have another physical altercation. And subsequently, I seen him a couple more times after that, and yeah, we were cool. That's just the way it is, and that's the way men settle problems. You don't settle problems with guns and knives and you know, blunt objects, unless you are in a dire situation and you have to do that. When it's one-on-one, no, that's not how men settle conflicts. But I'm rambling on. I'm just giving you a little bit of background with me. I'm not saying I'm going out there and trying to be a tough guy. What I'm saying is I'm trying to convey to you what my eyes see throughout a day. And I'm not saying I'm going out there and trying to be a tough guy. What I'm saying is I'm trying to convey to you what my eyes see throughout a day. And I'm not saying I'm going out there and trying to be a tough guy. What I'm saying is I'm trying to convey to you what my eyes see throughout a day. And I'm not saying I'm going out there and trying to be a tough guy. What I'm saying is I'm trying to convey to you what my eyes see throughout a day. And I'm not saying I'm going out there and trying to be a tough guy. What I'm saying is I'm trying to convey to you what my eyes see throughout a day. And I'm not saying I'm going out there and trying to be a tough guy. What I'm saying is I'm trying to convey to you what my eyes see throughout a day. And I'm not saying I'm going out there and trying to be a tough guy. What I'm saying is I'm trying to convey to you what my eyes see throughout a day. And I'm not saying I'm going out there and trying to be a tough guy. What I'm saying is I'm trying to convey to you what my eyes see throug And if it's a black guy on the streetcar that smells, I'm going to say it's a black guy on the streetcar that smells. If it's a white guy on the streetcar, I'll say it's a white guy on the streetcar. Okay? My ex-wife is Filipino. I grew up my whole life with Jamaican people, Vietnamese people, Filipino people, Spanish people, Ecuadorian, El Salvadorian. Okay? So I'm not going out there looking to slander a person that is of different color than me. I'm going to slander whoever is an asshole and is acting like an idiot. That's who I'm going to slander. If it's a 6'2" slender guy looking at me to get my bike, I'm going to say it's a 6'2" tall black slender guy that I actually recognize from the neighborhood, because I've been in the neighborhood my whole life. I'm rambling on. Anyhow, Mark Carney, in closing, Mark Carney is not telling the truth with regards to the United States. You got any questions, comments, or concerns, put it in the comment section. I'm sorry I went off on a tangent. Just trying to give you a little bit of background without coming across like, I'm a raving lunatic. Enjoy your day. Thanks for watching. Bye.